How does a man go from being a struggling artist to a dictator responsible for a world war and the genocide of millions? This is the unsettling question that lingers in the minds of many when we delve into the life of Adolf Hitler. His rise to power is a disturbing reality that has left indelible marks on human history. For a man who once aspired to create art, it is a chilling paradox that his name is now synonymous with destruction and despotism. His transformation from an obscure painter living in poverty to the Führer of the Third Reich, the leader who would plunge the world into a catastrophic war, is a story that shakes us to our core. It's a tale that raises questions about the fragility of democracy, the allure of autocracy, and the terrifying power of propaganda. To understand this, we must go back to the very beginning. Adolf Hitler, born on April 20, 1889 in Braunau am Inn, Austria. This little town near the German border was where the infamous dictator spent his early years. Growing up in a modest family, young Adolf had dreams far removed from politics. He aspired to be a painter, a vision not shared by his stern father, a customs official, who preferred a more practical career path for his son. Following the death of his father when Adolf was just 13 years old, he found himself at odds with his dutiful mother, who tried to steer him towards a civil service career. Yet, Adolf's artistic dream persisted. However, the death of his loving mother in his late teens and a series of rejections from Vienna's Academy of Fine Arts drastically changed the course of his life. His dreams of becoming an artist shattered, Hitler found himself alone and destitute in Vienna. A series of rejections and failures set the stage for a drastic shift in Hitler's life. World War I, a turning point in young Hitler's life. As the world plunged into chaos and destruction, a then unknown Adolf Hitler enlisted in the German army. He served as a dispatch runner on the Western Front, a role fraught with danger, carrying messages between command and the front line. Hitler's bravery in this perilous position did not go unnoticed. He was decorated for his courage, receiving the Iron Cross, second class in 1914, and later, the Iron Cross, first class, an honor rarely bestowed upon a foot soldier. In the trenches, Hitler witnessed the horrors of war, the loss, the destruction, but also the camaraderie, the shared purpose, and the power of nationalistic fervor. These experiences would later fuel his own ideologies and vision for a new Germany. But his world was shattered in November 1918, with Germany's unexpected surrender. Hitler, like many of his compatriots, was devastated by the defeat. He felt betrayed by the leadership, a sentiment that was echoed across the nation. Hitler was particularly incensed by the Treaty of Versailles, viewing it as a humiliation imposed by the victors of the war. This sense of betrayal and national humiliation planted the seeds of resentment and revenge in Hitler's mind. In the aftermath of the war, Hitler remained in the army and was posted to Munich. Here, he was introduced to the world of politics as he was tasked with infiltrating and reporting on various political groups. It was during this time that Hitler began to develop and refine his own political beliefs, fueled by his experiences during the war and its aftermath. In the aftermath of the war, Hitler found a new purpose. He would harness his anger, his resentment, and his passionate patriotism and channel them into a political career. A career that would ultimately lead him to the highest office in Germany and to a path that would change the world forever. In 1919, Hitler joined the German Workers' Party. This was a pivotal moment that set the stage for a radical transformation in Germany's political landscape. The party was a small, obscure group when Hitler became a member, but that was about to change. Hitler was not immediately a leader within the party, but his unique oratory skills quickly set him apart. He had a knack for captivating audiences, stirring their emotions, and feeding off their discontent. His speeches were fiery, charismatic, and filled with nationalistic fervor. They resonated with many Germans who were frustrated and disillusioned in the aftermath of World War I. Recognizing his potential, the party soon elevated Hitler to a leadership position. With this newfound authority, he began to shape the party according to his vision. The German Workers' Party gradually morphed into the National Socialist German Workers' Party, better known as the Nazi Party. Hitler was building a platform, fueled by his charismatic speeches and nationalistic ideas. 1923 marked an ambitious attempt to seize power, the Beer Hall Putsch. This was a failed coup d'état by the Nazi Party, led by Adolf Hitler, to seize control of the Bavarian state government. This audacious plan was executed on November 8, 1923 in Munich, at a beer hall where many influential politicians were gathered. However, the coup was poorly planned and executed, and was quickly suppressed by the German authorities. In the aftermath of the failed coup, Hitler was arrested and put on trial for treason. The trial, which was highly publicized, turned out to be somewhat of a platform for Hitler. He used it to share his nationalistic, anti-Semitic and anti-communist views, reaching a wider audience than ever before. Despite the severity of his charges, Hitler was sentenced to a relatively mild punishment of just 5 years in Landsberg prison. Prison, however, turned out to be a blessing in disguise for Hitler. It was during this time that he penned his infamous book, Mein Kampf, which translates to My Struggle. In it, he outlined his political ideology, his views on race, and his plans for the future of Germany. The book was a mixture of autobiographical content, political ideology, and a study in propaganda and mass psychology. It was here that Hitler first proposed his idea of Lebensraum, or living space, which later became a key component of Nazi ideology. While Mein Kampf was initially not a bestseller, it gained popularity as Hitler's political career rose. The book was used as a political tool by the Nazi Party, and by the time Hitler became chancellor in 1933, it had sold over 1 million copies. Hitler's time in prison was cut short due to his good behavior and political pressure, and he was released after serving just 9 months. His experience of the failed coup and subsequent imprisonment had a profound impact on his approach to gaining power. He realized that he would have to work within the system to achieve his goals. In prison, Hitler strategized his return to power. By 1930, the Nazi Party was a major player in German politics. The brunt of the Great Depression had hit Germany hard, and the country was in a state of economic and social turmoil. Hitler, with his charismatic speeches and promises of a better future, seized this opportunity to further his political ambitions. Hitler's rise to power hinged on a multitude of strategies, the most notable of which was his exploitation of the Great Depression. The economic crisis had left millions unemployed, and the German people were desperate for change. Hitler capitalized on this desperation, promising employment and prosperity under the Nazi regime. His propaganda machine worked tirelessly, painting him as Germany's savior during its darkest hour. But Hitler's strategies extended beyond mere propaganda. He skillfully manipulated the political landscape of the time. He played on the fears and prejudices of the German people, blaming the country's woes on the Treaty of Versailles and the Jewish community. This scapegoating served to unify the German people against common enemies, further consolidating Hitler's hold on power. In 1933, Hitler's political maneuverings paid off when he was appointed Chancellor of Germany. This position, initially seen as a means to control Hitler, instead provided him with the authority he needed to enact his ambitious plans for Germany. With the death of President Hindenburg in August 1934, Hitler merged the offices of President and Chancellor, declaring himself Führer, and making him the absolute ruler of Germany. Hitler's rise to power was not a sudden event but a gradual, calculated process. He exploited the despair of a nation, manipulated the fears of its people, and took advantage of the political turmoil of the time. His rise to power was marked by propaganda, scapegoating, and political maneuvering, culminating in his appointment as Chancellor, and later, Führer of Germany. Hitler's rise to power was now complete, setting the stage for one of the darkest periods in human history. From an aspiring artist to a dictator, Hitler's rise to power is a chilling tale. His life journey, steeped in ambition and turmoil, led him from a struggling artist in Vienna to becoming the Führer of Nazi Germany. 10 key facts underscore this dramatic transformation. A troubled childhood, his experiences during World War I, and the subsequent political turmoil in Germany, all shaped Hitler's worldview. His joining the German Workers' Party marked the beginning of his political career. The failed coup, his time in prison, and the writing of Mein Kampf all set the stage for his rise to power. The final fact, his ascension to the chancellorship, marked the culmination of his rise, setting the world on a path towards a devastating war. Hitler's story serves as a stark reminder of how quickly and dangerously power can corrupt when placed in the wrong hands.
Subscribe for more videos like this. Turn on notification and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.